Definitely need a net for this, Joe. Look at the size of this fish. Here we go. Stepping back. Now that'll work.
Got him, Andy?
That's working.
There you go.
Wow, nice fish. Oh. There we go.
That might be a little better.
Oh, that fish is screaming, Rick. Wow.
You're watching Northeast Angling. We're proud to present inshore and offshore saltwater fishing. We cover every species from fluke and porgies to stripers, sharks, and tuna. You can learn more about techniques, tackle, and destinations at neangling.com. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Well, Rich, 4 years since we've been here, we got Captain Joe Huckemeyer from the Helen H. He's taken us to one of his fluke spots. And it didn't take him long. We dropped down and immediately hooked up, which is kind of wrong. Shouldn't we be catching it first?
Well, actually, Andy, he hooked up on the fish that I missed.
You might want to put
we may want to net that. Let me grab the net.
I don't know, Joe. What size fish you got there?
about 6-7 pounds.
Nice fish.
That is a pretty good start.
There you go.
Guess I just hand him the net.
A lot of expectations up here. We've been here before, and the funny thing is Joe, what size fish you got on it? About 6-7 pounds. It's like, like nothing. We're in the promised land right now. Joe, where are we exactly?
Right now we're fishing off the west side of Martha's Vineyard.
Okay. Now, this is the first fish on the boat. And take a look at this. You got a 6-7 pound fish, treating it like it's nothing. Joe, what do you got? Hey, he's about 6-7 pounds, Andy. You may want to net this one. I mean, back home, we'd be like, oh my God, where's the net?
This is what they look like.
This is what they look like. That is one beautiful looking fish, Joe. And that is the first fish of the day, guys. So we have a lot to look forward to today. Let me tell you, this is going to be one of our best fluke days. I can feel it coming.
And this is something we love doing, and down by us, we have a big limit, and this fish will be over even our limit.
Here's one. Here's one. I got one. Oh, baby! Oh, this is just going to be unbelievable. I'm telling you. First drift, 2 fish on.
And they're good.
And they are good.
Oh,
now we're fishing.
I'm in.
All right, 2 on. Oh, my Lord. Wow.
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 That doesn't feel bad.
I don't think anything does. This is not going to be as big as Joe's, but it still feels like a decent fish. Joe, regulations here, where we're at. What are we looking at?
5 fish at 17.5.
5 fish at 17.5.
But we...
Net, Rich?
No. He's a
go...
keeper for sure, but I'm going to let this fish go.
we try and keep it.
Let me tell you something. I want to set a record for poundage.
The most
we got
pounds
5 fish, 3 guys fishing. Okay? I want a combined weight of somewhere about 150 pounds. Okay, guys?
I guess, this is one of those days where we're going to swing in 3-pound fish.
But I'm serious. I want to set a new record for a 15 bag limit with Fluke, okay? We already got 1 7-pound fish, and we got a long way to go, guys. I'm gonna let this fish go. Joe, this would normally be a keeper, obviously.
Yeah, but so, we try and keep the bigger fish, keep a couple of nice fish with the bag limit at 5. We want to keep a couple of nice ones.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I know, like, you run the Helen H.
Yeah.
So I'm sure when you're out here and fishing's really good, you'll see a guy get a 4-pound fish, and it's the beginning of the day. He can keep 4 more fish. You may want to say to him, hey, you might want to let that one go in case you get a bigger one, something like that.
Well, I'm putting mine in.
Mine's going back because I know I'm getting a bigger one. I'm in, Andy.
All right.
Oh, I'm in too.
Joe, you in too? All right, double up.
I'm feeling a little left out right now.
There's nothing wrong with that. But I know what? I do have a job for you. It's called
I know.
It's called the
net.
All right, I'm going to be on that in just a second.
It's up in the front. And
How close are you?
Probably about 15, 20 feet down.
All right, hang on. Let me get that net.
Are we still in reverse, Andy?
We seem to be.
All right. Not a bad fish. I could actually probably, look at a pilot fish that just came up on this. Sam, I got 2 pilot fish that just came up on top of my fluke. And did you see that, Tim? They were just swimming.
That's not too shabby.
Get him up there.
Just drop him in there.
You got it, buddy. Nice fish. Joe,
Here
how
you
you
go, Rich.
looking?
I'm giving this to you.
Not too bad.
I'm gonna pull this fluke out. You got Joe?
Yeah, I got him.
Nice fish.
Oh, I think Rich may have you on that one.
Yeah, but he got my first fish, so I got a lot of catching up to do.
All right, well, here's the deal here. This is what we're doing. We got bucktails down. We're in, how deep is it here, Joe?
Oh, about 75 to 85 feet.
And we're gonna see a lot of variation in depth as we drift along here. We're just trying to keep these bucktails in contact with the bottom. And Rich is actually working the throttles. He's stemming the boat a little bit. So we don't have a very big sea. And he's just trying to keep the lines as straight up and down as possible. Yeah. What are your bait choices here? What do you have on that one?
That was a fluke ribbon we used. Joe, at the end of the day, when you fillet the fish for your customers, you like to save the ribbons on the outsides of the fluke. You feel that's a real good bait,
yeah,
right?
we take all the ribbons, or the rinds, they call them, also along the edges of the fillet, and we save it all for the next day. And it's an excellent bait.
Stays on the hook good, right? Better than I like it better than squid.
Yeah, it stays on better than squid. It's a tough bait, and a lot of times when the fluke grabs the sand eel or the spearing or the bait fish that you have on as well, it gives him something to hang on to. So he works up the bait to try and grab all the way up, and then he gets to the hook.
Yeah, so it's like a little 6-inch piece. It's like a pendant that's going to wave back and forth.
And
gives the bucktail a little more action.
We're tipping that with a sand eel.
Yep.
And it seems to be a good combination right now. I know there's a lot of other baits you like fillet sometimes, but I mean, this seems to be pretty productive.
That fish looks like we're going to be eating that one. This one looks like
I think we could let this
send
one
that one home.
Go, Joe. You could open up the well for me, though, if you don't mind. Drop him in here. Why don't we reel up and get back on this drift, guys?
A little bit of a touch there. Get a little shallower, Rich?
Oh, a little bit.
Wow.
There you go, Andy.
I turn to look at the machine.
Hey, Joe, we're basically at the slack tide now. We got a wind drift going. What your favorite stage of the tide for doing this? What do you like?
You don't want to be going too fast, but you don't want to be going slow either. You have to have a little movement going on the drift. A knot is a nice manageable speed.
I got you.
No, that's not a bad fish right there.
Yep.
I could use a net for this if there's one handy.
Joe.
Hang on. Probably don't want to miss this, guys. Nice
Joe,
fish.
your preference in tackle, Joe, what do you like?
Well,
nice fish, Andy.
Oh yeah, that'll work.
there's 2 ways to look at it. One is if you're going to jig with the bucktails.
Right.
You want to go anywhere from a 3 to a 6 ounce bucktail with braided line, and with a strip of bait and a sand eel or a strip of bluefish. Okay. The other way to go is with the old school with a sinker and a long leader, which I don't mind going either way. Maybe a little feather on the end on the hook, and again the baiting the same way.
Well, I'm going to put this guy in a well because I think this is a meal, and let's keep going. See what else we can do on this spot. Let's keep this drift going.
We're going to see some nice fish.
Absolutely. Get this guy in the well.
Visit the Northeast Angling website at neangling.com for nationwide saltwater charter directory, fishing news, and free fishing reports. You can also find dozens of techniques, tips, and tackle for every saltwater species. Now let's get back to the action.
Well, Joe, I know this starts really early, the bite here. Rich, you got one on?
Yeah, just hit one in.
I know this starts fairly early. What's the earliest people can come out here and do this? We're in the Vineyard here right now, right?
Oh, about the second week of June, fish start showing up. A lot of times you'll see a mix of sizes all together as they first move in, and then they segregate out between different areas, and you'll see bigger fish in the deeper water as the season progresses, and smaller fish up in the shallow.
I see Rich has cheated a little bit. He's got a couple of short bites.
You really were not supposed to see that.
He stuck a stinger hook back in his long strip bait.
Let that one go.
So he couldn't deal with the short bites anymore, so he said, that's it.
You know what?
Put the stinger in there.
I lost a really good fish before. I know it. I had good weight on it. And again, we're fishing for big fish, and we're fishing big pieces of bait, as you can see. There's a bluefish fillet that we got on here now. And, you know, I just... A lot of times, even them bigger fish, when you got like a 12-inch, 13-inch piece of bait down there, think you're better off just giving yourself a better chance with a stinger hook.
And you also get this 1-knot current, so sometimes when you miss, if you don't drop back quick enough,
you got to drop back real quick. This way, if the fish is facing the other way, you still have a shot at him coming around for a second hit.
And basically, all I did was just took a piece of 30-pound Missouri fluorocarbon to a snelled mustad bait holder hook and just, you know, put a little stinger in it.
A little improvising there made a big difference.
I will miss no more Fluke. You have my word.
So, Joe, how long does this bite go? When does it last until?
Right into the middle of the fall. Season ends here. This year, every year it's a little different. The last couple of years have been ending in August. Hopefully next year, this next season here, we'll be going right into the end of September with the season.
I got you.
All right.
Want to grab a piece of bait
Let's
here?
get Rich baited up. Let's keep going.
No, Joe. That one there, Andy?
This was decent.
Looks like a better fish, huh?
Yeah.
Nice. There we go. Joe, I got to ask you this now. How many boats are in your fleet right now? We're talking, again, Joe Huckemeyer, Helen H., originally a Brooklyn boy, came out here to Hyannis, built up a beautiful business for himself. I know. How many boats do you have now, Joe?
4 boats now. We have the Helen H. 100-foot party boat, the Angler 75-foot party boat, the Fishhawk 36-foot 6-man charter boat.
And the newest addition is the former Northeast Angling 28-foot, right?
Seahawk.
Which is called the Seahawk now.
Now, here's something interesting, guys. I put this big squid on behind my rig, and what do you think the Fluke hit?
Bucktail?
Bucktail.
That's all right.
The squid was the attractor. I'm just going to try and lift this fish in. Probably too big to be lifted in, but we're going to try and lift him in anyway, and hopefully we can get him.
There you go. Nice fish, Andy. That's a good fish.
And you can see my little rig there that actually Rich made up. And one of our crew members, Kyle, caught that squid a few days ago out in the canyon. And I don't know.
Did you have a touch there, Joe?
Yep.
Took the bucktail instead.
That's all right. I mean, you know, that's a good rig. What Andy's doing there is he's trolling a whole squid back behind his bucktail. So, again, traditionally, Joe, guys would, hey, Joe! Well, he's got one hanging on there. I don't know.
Big bait, I got to give him a little.
Traditionally, guys would fish a sinker and, you know, a trailered hook, 36-inch leaded hook. But what Andy's got going on there now is instead of using a sinker, he's using his bucktail as a sinker, which gives him another opportunity to catch a fish, and then the trailer hook behind it.
Yeah, the whole squid is a good tactic for the bigger fish.
Yeah, actually, I can show you the way this rig really looks because it's a little tangled right now. Let me see if I can straighten it out real quick here. And basically what I got is the bucktail hanging beneath a dropper loop about 6 inches down. And you know, my tangling is spectacular. Here we go. You got this look right here, and then squid trails back behind it.
You see the way he's got that hook now is that squid won't spin. Biggest problem with fluking is presentation. It's got to be perfect. You know this, Joe.
Yep.
If you put something down there that's going to turn, it's going to meatball up, it's going to come to the line ahead of the sinker or the bucktail, and it's just not going to fish. And there's nothing worse than going a whole drift, not knowing your bait doesn't look good or is tangled.
And the big mistake people make with this is that trailer hook. They put it too far down, or they don't leave enough line, and it curls the squid a little bit, and it's definitely going to spin. So you got to make sure you have at least a little tiny bit of slack.
Little belly.
Going down into your trailer hook.
A little bit of belly in the line.
Well, I'm going to get that fish into the well, get my rig squared away, and let's see if we can catch another
I want to
fish
get
out.
excited now. Come on, I want, you know.
I know there's some big fish
I
here.
know there's some
even
big fish.
bigger than this one.
Joe will not let us down. We're going to get on him, too. Let's get him, guys.
All right.
Well, Joe, this trip that we're doing right here, what makes this spot so special? We're in about 70 feet of water. Rich is working another fish.
Yeah, I just hooked up here, guys.
What makes this the right spot here?
This time of the year, a lot of the nicer fish drop off into the deeper water. There's bait down tight to the bottom. So off some of the drop-offs of the shoal of water, it drops down to 80, 90, even 100 feet places. And the nicer fish drop down into the cooler water when the shallower water is too warm.
So that is not too bad.
On his whoop, quick release. Try it on that stinger hook again that he just pulled off.
I think we haven't seen too many rats over here.
No.
Everything seems to be pretty good. Now, Joe, if we went in the shallows, we find fish there, they might not have the size that we're seeing out here.
Yeah, generally you'll see plenty of fish in the shallower water this time of the year, but the size substantially smaller.
And you're working channel edges, holes, and you can basically come out here on the chart and see spots. And
Yes.
go, yeah, let me give that a try, because I know we've done a lot of scouting around. Whoa,
Good touch there, Andy.
Yep.
There you go,
There you
another
go.
fish on. Or you could just go out and look for the H, one of the 4 boats that are
Or the
drifting out
Seahawk, or the Fish Hawk.
You get this one in the well.
Well, you know what? I may not be the world's greatest fluke fisherman, but there's got to be a lot of fluke here because I seem to be catching 1 or 2 of them.
You're doing fine, Andy.
One of the things you want to watch is when you find fish in a particular depth, you want to stay in that depth, work that depth, even if it's new area that you're working up or down from where you caught some fish. Just stay, you know, if you're in 70 feet and that's where it's happening, try and work the 70-foot fathom, the 70-foot contour area so you can work the same depth.
That's so you just try and plot your drifts as best you can.
So obviously also, like, you know, we've been making this drift and we're hitting fish consistently on it. So your GPS becomes your best friend also here, right,
Absolutely.
Joe?
Hit a save every time you see a couple of fish, and you'll see at the end of the day how all of them are in working the same line.
Well, this guy's going to go back.
Yep.
You know, talking about walking the same line, we may want to creep back onto that patch in a few moments. Let me drop this guy back and bait this again.
Visit the Northeast Angling YouTube channel for hundreds of videos, including full-length episodes, exciting clips, product reviews, and instructional videos. And now, the exciting conclusion of Northeast Angling.
You know, one thing about this kind of fishing is it's easy to miss these fish. They're big, but we're using big baits, and you know, sometimes there are a lot of things you can do wrong, like, you know, give us a couple ideas of what it's going to do to make sure we miss fewer fish.
Oh, there he is, guys. There he is. Yep. That's a good fish.
Well, there's one fish we're not missing.
Rich just dropped his tip there when he got the hit. We're drifting here at over a knot, and he dropped his tip to feed the bait back just for a second so the fish had an opportunity to go right up the bait, up to the hook.
Yeah. Now, when you miss a hit, we're going a knot here. When you miss a hit, you almost always have to open your reel up and drop back, and then start working your rig again. We're doing bucktails here. Because you're going a knot, you're pulling away, and you're pulling away from the fish so fast.
When they're Andy.
No, I missed him. And now is my chance to drop back to him.
Yeah, you know, and with the bucktails, you want to keep them moving, you know? I see a lot of guys, they dead stick them. Bucktails are designed to be worked, you know? You see all these different rigs in the stores, they got the spinning glows and all that. They all work. This is a good fish. There's no 2 ways about it. But what that does is it puts action on a bait that you should be putting on yourself.
That's
so
right.
By you working that rod, you know, you're adding action, you get those adrenaline strikes, and you get those lethargic fluke to hit. Guys, I'm gonna need the net. This is a good fish.
I'm gonna get Joe, you wanna get over and grab that?
I got him barely hooked on just the teaser hook. Just the teaser hook on this fish. Joe, I'm gonna need you. This is a nice fish, Joe. I'm gonna swing him. There you go. Get him in it well. Woo! That's a beauty.
Nice fish.
That's solid.
Oh! Look where I had him hooked, boys. Woo!
Right under the chin.
Right, with that stinger hook in the back again, I got him right under the chin. I had him hooked in the center, look at that. The bucktail pulled out, and that stinger hook saved you. Woo! I'll take it.
That's a nice one.
That's a nice looking fish right there. That's a H special, right? Hyannis fluking. Unbelievable. This is a beautiful fish. This one's going, I think, in the well. What do you think?
Yeah, we're going to take him.
All right, let me drop him in. The terminal tackle we used here in Hyannis with Captain Joe Huck from the H was a 7-foot Terramar rod. We used a 500 Dakota from Shimano. We laced it with 30-pound test Berkeley braid. We had a stretch of maybe 2-foot leader of Yozori disappearing pink fluorocarbon, 30-pound test. We used anywhere from 4 to 6 ounce bucktails. We hit all our baits with a little bit of Activate spray, and this was our results. We had big fluke all day long.
Rich, you got one on
Yes,
there?
I just hooked
I
one
just
in.
got a hit too.
Doesn't feel very big, but definitely a fluke.
I'm in.
I get nothing.
I'm in.
2 on.
I get nothing.
No, that's okay.
It's okay, the drift's still going. Like I said, last drift no matter what.
Yeah, this is definitely a little guy.
I'll tell you, Joe, I very much enjoy being out here. And, you know, I know the ride from New York isn't bad, but what's the other access to get here into the Vineyard?
As far as?
You know, like, I know people can come from Connecticut to get here, Hyannis, lots of places, but I guess Hyannis is probably the closest shot to the spot right here.
As far as big ports, Hyannis is the closest.
Wow, that's a nice fish.
Not only do we fish the Vineyard, we also fish Nantucket.
Joe, you need a net for that fish?
I could probably use a net for this one, Rich.
Let me grab that fish.
All right, hang on, I got the net.
You have it there?
Yeah, I got it. Getting somebody playing with me, too. I got that, Joe. Just keep right there, right under the water.
Turn him around.
Okay, that's a beautiful fish.
Come in. Okay. Fish on. Here they come.
You know what? I think that fish was on the whole time I was netting that fish, Joe.
You said you had a touch.
Yeah, but I think he was just laying on there. Guys, this is a decent one.
Is it?
Yeah. I didn't even see yours yet. Rich, any good?
No, I had a small one. I released him already. And I went back down. I'm actually getting hit again.
You better catch one quick because this is going to be the last couple fish of the day.
I just went back down. I got hit again.
Oh, I'm definitely needing a net for this, Joe. Look at the size of this fish. Here we go. Stepping back. Now, that'll work.
Got him, Andy?
That's working.
There you go.
Yeah.
This is just such an unbelievable area. It really is. You know, you look at the size of these fish, the amount of pressure that's not on them, I should say. I mean, a day like today, as sweet as it is, down by us in the Sound, Andy, we would have, what? Oh, God, I would say 15, 20 boats.
Yeah, and I don't think we catch fish like this.
No, probably not.
Not this consistently, not this size. You know what? This isn't even one of the biggest ones we caught today. It's a heck of a fish today.
Sure
Anybody would be proud of.
It's a pleasure having you here.
All right.
One of these days, we're going to get out bass fishing on one of your boats.
Thank you for watching. You can use the buttons below to subscribe to our YouTube channel, watch more videos, or to learn more about the location, techniques, and gear as seen in this video.